Hello there, and welcome to episode 1 of season 6 of the Banner of Shadow saga. So we're going to build a new warfare fortress together today. Well, we're starting out with it. So the story so far was a defeated dwarven civilization that had literally nothing except for one fortress to call itself their home, and we rebuilt it. I did make fortress by fortress by fortress, and by now we have a thriving civilization. The last season we were building a fort on top of a adamantine volcano. Yeah, well, basically all volcanoes and all tiles have adamantine, but I decided to roleplay this as our adamantine mine. So, the Banner of Shadow now gloriously spread around the continent all over here. We even have one estate here. We have now a population of 800, 7 sites, a thriving thing, but we have one big problem. The elves here, so they are in stealth, but they are here, have declared war on us, and Flamethrone, our capital for now, is under heavy attack. So season 6 is going to be about shutting down the elves and reconquering our old home by destroying the goblins up here. I have already found a pretty decent embark location for this. The requirements for this embark are pretty simple. I want iron and preferably flux stone. When I was looking over the possibilities there, I found these areas. So settling down right next to Flamethrone was pretty promising. There are 4 spots here that have all their distinct advantages and disadvantages, but my eyes fell on this spot here, right between the enemy lines. I was pondering in the end of the previous season that I want to build a fortress out of wood to show those elves where they can shove their arrogance themselves towards to. And then I saw this, right between elvish settlements, the perfect spot to commit warfare and everything in between. And it even has iron, so that's where we're settling down. The thing is, the place here is a forest, which seems to be flat as a table. Elevation-wise, we are not high up or anything like that. I checked out this spot as a competitor, but it is more silver copper than iron. Here we have a majority of silver copper, whereas here it is the other way around. Silver and copper are also present here, so this is a major site, and there's a good reason why the Banner of Shadow wants to claim this, and will claim this. So enjoy with me a Fortress of War. Let's do this. So first up, we need to go into our configurations. We'll bring up one thing here. That's the fortress name. I already brought up a wonderful one. It's going to be STEELFOREST, because I really think that this shows us where we want to take that forest, and it separates us from the people who want to grow the forest, right? And because this is a recurring theme, so this place is going to be the Will of Shadow. My previous fortresses had, many of them, a by-name with Of Shadow, because Banner of Shadow. So, STEELFOREST, the Will of Shadow, let it be. We have here a standard setup that I have been running quite a lot of times. Let's see, do we have still pick points on the items? Yes, we do. So, I'll be stocking up on the pigtail, on the plump helmet, and on the sweet pot. Nothing special. We start out with this setup here with gear for 1 soldier, and one of ours is able to fight. This doesn't make a military squad, but it is not bad at all. I have unpicked skills. So, oh, here, for real. So, what we're going to pick up, we have already appraising skills here. So I missed giving you guys jobs, eh? So we're going to make ourselves 1 weaponsmith and 1 armorsmith, because that is definitely going to be a fitting thing. Doosim and Doosim making weapons and armor. What's not to love about this? Come on. So, thanks for reminding me, and let's see what we got here. I didn't prepare myself at all. And I didn't look at this map up front or anything like that. So this ought to be a surprise for me. Look at all those filthy trees everywhere. You also can clearly see here how Dwarf Fortress segments its map. There's a fine line of nothing in between the center. This because we have four chunks of land where we're building a fort. I have rarely seen the chunk separation so clearly here. Anyways, so what we got here is a pretty nifty spot. It is watery, tree-y, and sandy. What I do like already is that we have an elevation thing. That's pretty cool, because I want, like I said, build a fortress of wood. Upstairs, at least. We're going to make that happen. And I think our landing spot is pretty decent for that. So we're going to make this pretty much the entrance level, and then you have to go upstairs, and here's where the actual fortifications will happen. Maybe we will go and work a little bit more with elevations, because I've had a wonderful comment the couple of days that encouraged me and motivated me to work a little bit more with those Z levels. Anyways, let's get started. So this is an amazing start altogether. I mean, I think we can even take fishing into account here. So let's see what we have found so far. Of course, a snake. But that's not a big deal. So we also got sand, so glass industry incoming. And yeah, there's a ample supply of wood all around us. It's everywhere. So we are also playing in a Savage Lands environment because I love challenges, so the environment will eventually try to kill us hard. So we have to work around with that as well. So our wooden fortress will be actually really a downside for us, but come on, it's great that way. Now, let's get digging ourselves a starting area. I'm wondering where I want to start. This whole area will be eventually my entrance area of sorts, and up here we will have the fortifications. So I think digging in here, somewhere around there, is definitely not going to be undesirable in the long run. So we're going to make a big, nice starting hall back here. There we go. This is where we're going to drop off the starting package and all those things. Let's see, let's get back to the standing orders. We don't want automatic web collection because that just gets us into trouble. I want to revisit this because I think I have to do some things here. Automatically butcher carcasses, yes. So, gathering. I don't want them to gather bodies. Refuse. We gather refuse. We save all the good stuffs. We claim not other dead. Yes. So, forbid trap cleaning. Perfect. Trap cleaning is totally not useful for us. So, children don't do chores, and only the farmers harvest. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to make sure that the plump helmet is not ending in the kitchen. And I think that's where we're going to end it for now. Good. Alright. So, digging priority does not need to be reconfigured, and let's get started. Who are our brave adventurers? Kozoth, the expedition leader. She's fishing. I've been fine. So, the Ink of Combinations. I left them the name the freedom of their government's name on purpose because I love to do so. So, Kozoth. She is, personality-wise, of a calm demeanor. She seeks out exciting, adventurous situations, and she desires little for herself in the way of possessions. She's somewhat scatterbrained. She isn't giving flights of fancy, and she tends to be swayed by the emotions of others. She tries to do things correctly each time, and she acts impartially and is rarely moved to mercy. Just the perfect person for the job. So Kozoth likes pyrolusite, bismuth bronze, clear garnet, green glass, rainy fabric, the color cream, bucklers, fairies for their lacy wings, the sounds of the phrases of aquamarine at the sight of the lyrics of reticence. When possible, she prefers to consume giant koala, mackerel, turnip plants, passion fruit wine, and she absolutely detests moon snails. Yeah, they are absolutely the worst. So, this girl has some tastes that I didn't even know of. Alright, so I'm allowing now everybody to just toss their belongings in there. It's always one of the very first things that I do, so no wild animals can steal or precious things or lice people. Yuck! Where the hell did we settle down? Ugh. These things are already annoying enough, and when they are normal sized, not if ugh. Sorry, that just all right. I'll handle the lice people. We're gonna liberate it for sure. Of the elves, of course. The lice people didn't do anything to us, or did they? This thing is attacking my dog. Death to the lice people, I'd say. Death to the lice people. Who's attacking my dog is not my friend. They're nothing to eat. And, alright, the dog started the fight. Whatever. It's one of those crazy situations. Anyways, we're going to have to pasture our animals in because of these occurrences of wandering lice people. Because the world of Dwarf Fortress is full of mysterious and wondersome creatures. That's what I really mean it. It's crazy what kind of things you meet here in this game. Okay, we got our starting things down. What we need next is a little bit of a knowledge of our environments. So, I think I'm going to go downstairs right next to where? That's the question. So I don't really want to do too much with this here, because I think this will be eventually just a shack. Probably a secondary pasture or something like that. So we're going to go and we're going to make a probing expedition to test the waters. This time I do a little bit more thinking before digging, because I really want to make sure that the stuff we're doing will be working on out for later as well. So we're starting our stuff here. That's it. This is going to be a important spot for the fortress, as we will use this as a staging point for many things. So this is also not going to be the official entrance. The official entrance will be way more secluded. So let's dig downstairs and see when we have to deal with water. It's always the same. When does the water come? Very early this time. Right on. So, well, that means we obviously need to carve ourselves a couple of blocks before we can get going, because we don't have stone to work with. Yeah, elven lands. carpenter. I somehow was looking for a woodworker. My brain. My brain. Anyways, so we're just going to order some wooden blocks a couple of times. Let's make that 5. So we'll have an easy time breaching into the aquifer. Take that, nature. Alright. Once these blocks are made, we can easily dig deeper. There we go. So breaching an aquifer is always something that, well, opens up some logistics. So I'm going to make this at least a 2-on-2 width, so the city can use this place later as well. There we go. Loam. We can't just smooth loam, so we have to replace it with walls. Sucks, but it is what it is. So, we're not going to use blocks and boulders. There we go. Because that's inefficient. There's already the first puddle of water. 2 of them, actually. Jeez. Okay. That's done. So that's 4 and 6. So our 20 blocks we've made will only last us for 3 floors. Let's hope it doesn't get deeper than that. Oh, I hate it when that happens. First floor already has a puddle that, well, whatever. Let's keep breaching. I really hope that we're going to reach a level where there's stone quickly. Yes. And it is also the end of the aquifer already. So it is a very, very small area here. That'll bother us. Smoothing stone walls does stop the water from leaking as well, so we can utilize that. Here we're getting a false alert for aquifer action. Yeah, this is just the puddle of water making the tiles around it wet. This is how it looks like when you've breached through a light aquifer. This is how it looks like when you're in the middle of a light aquifer. So, this also means we'll have a super easy access to fresh water. Not the worst thing. Not the worst thing at all. So, we also have found our first safe haven. So, let's make this a thing. So, Steel Forest is going to be I want to build something intimidating here. I want to build something that shows them who's boss. Basically, that's the idea. I don't know how well that'll work, but I want to bring up some majestic, some majesty that I'm usually not aiming for. Anyways, so we have now very early access into the mountain. That's pretty nifty. So let's think about things. Down here, we're going to have our industry. A couple of levels below the entrance area of the actual fort. I think the fort itself will use this natural gorge here to fortify the entrance. And after the gorge, we will have, I think, some construction that will go around here with I don't know, probably something to conquer and keep watch on this slight elevation here. Don't know. I don't need to know everything up front, but a basic idea of things is always a good thing to have. So that'll also mean that there's going to be fortifications alongside of the gorge to make it stronger and all. So that means we can work with all the area down here as we want to. That is a rare luxury for me. Usually I have to work with these areas as something where I need to take care of enemies waltzing around, but obviously not happening. Nice. That means the actual city area will be happening here. We're going to do this here. So we're going to dig out a big old hole. This is going to be this is going to be the meeting place, and we're going to use all the basalt and all the things for the sake of making it a little bit more lively here. First gemstone popping up, but Morion is not really worth a lot. So, very important, I did a mistake here. I don't want no stone and no wood in these stockpiles. We'll have to fetch a lot of industry stockpiles, but one thing at a time. Allanite. What is this? I don't even... It's almost as if I've never seen that rock before in Dwarf Fortress. It looks a lot like quartzite and a little bit like rock salt. Love it. Brilliant. Alright. It's always nice to be surprised. So, first thing, we're building a meeting area. This does give our people a place to hang out. Currently, if you don't configure any meeting area, this will be the wagon until you deconstruct it. So I'm going to go from this point on directly a little bit more downstairs, because I want to have this floor a little bit more for the civilian and kitchen things of life. And down here, I want to start with the stone industry and all. So let's see how well it'll work. I want to make these halls a little bit more interesting for this run. I have a couple of ideas. We'll see how these play out. But at the very moment right now, it's going to be the usual things. A big old hall with alcoves for the workshops. And things that I want to do differently this time. I want to have my carpentry industry pretty much above earth, inside of the fortress. And I want to make it a bigger industry if possible. We obviously want to conquer the rest of the world, but don't get me wrong. But the majority of wiping out these red blips around me is most likely not going to be a difficult thing. This is something that we just do on while we are building the fort next to. I want to have a pretty big military on this fort. I'm aiming for 50 people. So we have raiding parties and defense parties, but I also want to make, like I said, a nice fortress out of wood that is not to be mistaken with a ramshackle, crappy wooden fortification. I'm aiming for something more sturdy, but one thing at a time. So let's bring in stoneworker, craftsman, crafts dwarf, sorry. Then the mechanic. And then we have the basics down for now. So, for the kitchen things in life, we're going to dig out the area next there as well. But we're now going to start with a couple of thrones. Long-time viewers already know where we're getting ourselves towards to here. Alright. I'm gonna use the area up here for some stills and the stuff that we need to make ourselves some food and drink. Just to make sure that things come together here. Oh, this is going to be a neat fortress. I can already foresee that. It's going to be especially interesting with all the usage of wood in a savage biome. I can already I think I'm going to hate myself for what I did there, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Challenges are what makes this game worthwhile. You only play safe, Dwarf Fortress can get very, very boring. So, let's see. Can I already set up the carpentry industry up here somehow? I mean, ideally, I'd pull it off on top of a hill. And this one is more this gorge area is more for defense purposes and all. So we're going to get ourselves. How are we going to solve this? Difficult one. Really, really tricky question. I mean, for the time being, I can just set up a couple of workshops downstairs there. But I really want to stop building these crap shoddy apartment blocks that I did in the past. Or not apartment blocks, workshop blocks. I really hate them by now. And they turned into sort of a bad habit of mine that I really just want to shake off and make some really nice crafts, dwarfs, districts at that. So, well, that segmenting didn't work out too decently. So it's going to be a couple of luxury apartments. Probably, tell you what, this is going to be the mayor's suite. Not for today, but for tomorrow. Like the idea of that. So, with STEELFOREST being a military fortress, I am okay with a more regular, patterned, shaped style of apartments, because I really think this is very befitting to a fort like that. So. Obviously, we're going to go a little bit further than that, just like so. There we go. Want to fit in a couple of extra apartments here so we have plenty of room for everybody. So. What about that little cavity here? Ah, well, the luxury apartment, why not? Alright, so let's see. The kitchen fun area is also sort of ready. I like the alcove building style for now, pretty much. We can't change that up later. This setup that I'm currently running is one thing for sure. It is really, really good at utilizing this center area as a stockpile. And this is what I like about it. Okay. So that's where our little city does start. Let's give them more apartments on each side. I am setting up myself for way more people than I currently have, obviously, but, well, it's only a matter of time until people come. So the year 135 dawns on us, and let's see how quickly we can start our mission. After I've set up the basics, namely food supply and the industries and management and all, we're going to go for a dive to find some of that steel that we require, or iron in that department. Alright. So far, so good. I like it. So, what we do require here... Let's set up the still... fishery, because obviously we do have access to fish this time. A kitchen. And, well, let's set up the usual other suspects up front already. The farmer's workshop, the butcher, and the tanner. Even though they are not really currently that necessary, they make up for a pretty decent roundhouse kick, so to speak, for all the needs that you got. Also putting in a clothier and a leatherer, so we have pretty much all the things in line here that we require. So we're going to use this last room there as an office for our manager and bookkeeper. And if that ain't the beginning of a tidy and nice looking fortress, I don't know what is. So, thanks for watching, you all. I'm gonna cut it here while we're chucking out the rest of this area. I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. This is, like I said, season 6. And there's a lot of other things around here that you can watch already. There's a lot of red blips that we are going to wipe out here with Steel Forest. And I hope you are going to be on to the journey with me. Leave me your comments, leave me a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and in the description box below you will find the playlist links to all the other stuff. And we even have Allanite and Rock Salt. Sorry, that just... the description box. There's stuff that you can use also to support Icon Gaming. I'd be very, very delighted if you decided to do so. And a big thanks to all of you who decided to do so. I really, really appreciate, and I hope you are so as well. Thanks for watching this video, by the way, and come back for episode 2 or more or whatever. Can't wait to be there. And let's see and get this fortress done. See you there. Bye-bye.